Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, I'm sure many of you saw Bitcoin hit a new all-time high today of $119,000. At the time of recording, it is at $119,335. So it's making its way to 120K. I think we know that is going to happen. Most likely, it could happen tonight and most likely tomorrow. And this week, I think it's going to be huge for crypto because we have this bullish momentum. Plus, we have Crypto Week, where crypto legislation is going to be passed in the House. And I think that could be a very strong narrative to bring in a ton of capital into the market as the mainstream media picks it up. So let's run through a few items here that are related to this move so we have an idea where we're at and where we're going. So Bitcoin's recent breakout was from a massive head and shoulders pattern that was set up. And of course, the tariff crash is included in that. And of course, the sideways consolidation. And then we had our breakout, Bitcoin breaking the $112,000 price point, which was its old all-time high. That put it into price discovery. And the next full target, according to Crypto Wizard here, is about 132,000 area or zone. So you're going to see Bitcoin move up to that. But obviously, there might be pullbacks along the way. So Bitcoin has ways to go. And if you use a Fibonacci model from the macro, it could potentially go up to the 3.618, which it has in the previous bull market cycles. If you go look at them, right? Doesn't mean it's guaranteed it's going to do that this cycle. It may not even touch the 3.618. It may just cross the 2.618 and top out at 170K or so. We'll have to watch it closely, but obviously the more liquidity that goes into Bitcoin, the more liquidity there will be to flow to the altcoins. And from a total market cap standpoint, using a Elliott wave charting analysis, from the micro, we are in a wave 3 right now, and that's usually a very strong move, but we have not hit the top of the market, which would be the end of the macro fifth wave. Even the micro fifth wave. So it's waves within waves. If you understand Elliott wave theory, right? You guys can go study this yourself, but I'm just giving you multiple factors and angles to make sure we validate our thesis, right? We don't want to look at just one chart or one type of analysis or signal. We want to look at multiple to make sure we're not missing anything. But one thing's for sure, we are in a bull market. We got more upside clearly, and things will continue to rise. We just got to be patient and have a profit-taking plan if you are planning to take profits. Now, of course, altcoins have been moving, and you look at XRP, its chart looks bullish, and we're going to continue to see new highs for altcoins. If you look at total 3, this excludes Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins, we have a clear breakout following Bitcoin. So this is what you want to see as an altcoin holder. Liquidity making its way to your altcoins, and you're going to see the altcoin market go bananas, folks. Even those crazy meme coins that I'm not a fan of are going to go crazy. It's just liquidity cycling through, sloshing through the markets, right? So these are the signs. Here, folks, we got confirmations. I hope you understand why I'm sharing this with you. And of course, it's all following global liquidity. And the global liquidity chart right now shows a topping right now, as of right now, in November. Now, it could pull back a bit as it has in the past and then continue. We'll have to wait and see. But as of right now, this is what the data is telling us. So this shows Bitcoin could go to about 165K in November. Once again, we'll follow this global liquidity chart to see if it keeps moving up, and that shows Bitcoin going to 200K or whatever it is, right? So we're using Bitcoin as the measuring stick, but you can see Bitcoin is following this, and so is the stock market. The S&P 500 also hitting new all-time highs. The NASDAQ also hitting new all-time highs. So this is the macro thesis I've been trying to hammer home to you guys to have the foundational knowledge of this, because this is what's driving markets. Whether it's the real estate market, the stock, crypto, precious metals, even the collectible market, it is going crazy right now. If you look at what's happening with baseball cards, comic books, and so forth, all of these things follow global liquidity. And you may also see that certain sports teams have been taking or selling their stake, right? The Lakers, the Boston Celtics. And you may say, Tony, I don't care about sports. But the point is, liquidity is driving the valuations and all those things higher and higher and higher. And that's why you see people are exiting, because they know, right? You got these all-time high valuations, and it's liquidity moving through the economy and markets, folks. And that's why even if people are losing their jobs and things are not looking good from a job data standpoint, liquidity is still driving the assets. It's what took place during the pandemic, right? The economy was shut down, but they printed so much money, there was so much liquidity, it sent the stock market and crypto ripping, even real estate. And you would scratch your head if you don't know what's happening. Why is all this stuff going up? Like, I don't have a job. The economy shut down. Because the stock market is not the economy. The asset prices move with global liquidity. So I hope that resonates with you, because this is a foundational thesis that you can use in investing in any asset class and for future bull markets. So that's why we're going to follow what the Fed and the central banks are doing. Now, more confirmation, Bitcoin dominance continues to break down. What we've seen historically, if you look at the chart here, just in Q4, when that's breaking down, Bitcoin's running and so is altcoins. So this is what we want to see for this run. In addition, Tether dominance, USDT dominance also breaking down. When this is breaking down, it means the stablecoin liquidity is going into the crypto market. So very good sign. Same thing happened in Q4. Same thing happened in the beginning of 2024 when we had that huge run up with the Bitcoin ETF launch. Many of you may recall, and there was a big sell off with the buy the rumor, sell the news event, right? So we've got some hardcore facts and data confirmation here, not feelings, not emotions, not fairy tales, not conspiracy theories, actual data. I hope you appreciate it. Now, Bitcoin Pi Cycle top indicator. This is a macro signal I've shared for many years. If we zoom in, well, before let me explain this for new people. When the 111-day moving average touches the 350-day moving average, that is usually when we see a peak at the top of the cycle. It has worked in the past 3 bull cycle peaks, showing the top. So if we zoom in here on what the hell is happening right now, you can see the curvature of the 111-day moving average starting to move up. Why? Bitcoin's price is moving. So this is tracking Bitcoin, of course. So you see where things are headed, right? The blow off top is within the next 4 to 5 months, in my opinion. Could it extend? Sure. But right now, that's the window I'm looking at. So we're going to look at these different metrics and signals like nonstop, right? I'm going to be sharing with you guys on the podcast, on my live streams. By the way, check my live stream tomorrow. I'll be streaming at 11 a.m. Also, I'll be putting it in my newsletter. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. It's 100% free. And of course, I've been highlighting what the Bitcoin whales are doing with on-chain data from Sentiment showing wallets with 10 or more Bitcoin continue to accumulate. So we're going to watch to see if they continue to accumulate and if they start dumping and exiting the market. And they study the markets. They have room full of analysts playing the markets, right? They know. So we're going to watch what they're doing as well. So this is a very strong signal. And the other data, the point that correlates with this that I've shared in the past from Sentiment is exchange coin supply. So when you see coins leaving the exchange, that's very good. It's usually when whales are buying, they move the coins off the exchange. But when they start moving the coins back on the exchange, it's something we want to pay attention to, right, folks? So just keep that in mind. Here's what Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson had to say. Remember, I said the Giga Chad bull run is coming. We are going to see 250K Bitcoin and trillions enter the space for the alts. Genius and Clarity Acts will be the catalyst. So I don't know if his price point, his price prediction is going to actually happen, but I believe we are going to see higher prices. But what he said about the Genius and Clarity Acts, crypto and stablecoin legislation, could certainly be a catalyst. So it's what I've been saying, that this coming week we have Crypto Week, right? I just interviewed Congressman French Hill. If you haven't seen that interview, check it out. Where the House is going to vote on the Clarity Act, the Anti-CBDC Act, and the Genius Act. So the Genius Act, if that passes, that's the stablecoin legislation, it goes straight to Trump for signatures. It becomes law as soon as he signs it. So this could be very huge, a big narrative. And we could see a lot of mainstream coverage. And this really puts out the narrative there for the mainstream investors to come in. Now, I can't guarantee how it's gonna play out, but that's a thesis that I have. And I'm sure many of you would agree logically that it could play out that way. But folks, remember the implications of the stablecoin bill. the United States has the world reserve currency of the US dollar, and they have to issue treasuries debt, right? To power the economy and the dollar. This is the fiat system. And historically, we've had countries like China and Japan and others buy our debt. Well, the stablecoin issuers who are issuing USD-backed stablecoins, they will have to buy the treasuries, right, and back their reserves with it. So the U.S. now has another avenue for people to be able to buy that, buy the treasuries. This is a big win for them, not only from a payments and crypto industry standpoint, but the dominance of the dollar, and for them to continue to do what they got to do, right? What the Treasury and the Fed has been doing for a long time, and whether you agree with the fiat system or not, this is the fact and how it all works. So this is a huge catalyst, and that's why you're seeing there's so much emphasis and urgency on the stablecoin legislation, because it has some really big implications. Now, folks, a quick word from our sponsor, and that is Uphold. Uphold is a great crypto platform. I've been using them since 2018. They've been around for a long time. They have 300 plus cryptocurrencies. They have over 20 crypto assets that you can stake and earn rewards. And like I said, I've been a long-term user. I've never had any issues or problem. They're reliable. And folks, they are fully reserved. They are 100% reserved, and you can review their transparency report. I've interviewed their CEO, their CFO, and many folks. So this is a platform I trust. And they have a great rewards program where you can earn up to 5.25% on stablecoins. This rewards program also gives you 24-hour early access to new tokens that they list. And the stablecoins they support includes Ripple's RLUSD, you can earn up to 5% there, and USBC, where you can earn up to 5.25% there. Now, I interviewed the CEO to talk about this. How are you generating the yield? And I made sure they're not doing anything weird or any backdoor nonsense like we've seen in the past. So they're doing it the right way. So I don't want you guys to feel like, this is something shady. It's not. They're doing it the right way. And they, of course, follow the proper laws and rules and so forth. So to participate, you simply have to open the app once per month, deposit $50 once per month, and trade $50 once per month. So this is a great program. If you'd like to learn more about Uphold, check out the link in the description. Now, folks, we have some updates here on the XRP ETFs. Now, these are the futures ETF. We're still waiting on spot ETF approval, but it's a very good sign because you're seeing demand for the asset. And this could be a very good indication of what's to come, or what type of demand we may see for the spot ETFs. So Eric Balchunas, a senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg, said the XRP ETFs seeing surge in volume today, like 4 to 5x the norm, especially the 2x1 XXRP, which is up 27% today, 55% this week, with $120 million in volume. Tecrium rewarded for getting out early. So this is pretty cool. And then there's also news that the ProShares XRP Futures ETF is slated to go live on July 18th. So this week, and this is according to the registration statement. Now, of course, we're waiting for the SEC to approve the XRP spot ETF and the Solana spot ETF, because you have the key component which the SEC likes to see, which is the XRP futures, especially the CME XRP futures, and there's Solana XRP futures. That's the big whale in the market from a futures standpoint. So that's been up and running. And I'm sure the SEC, they do go through their due diligence to see how that is running, how the spot market's running before they approve the spot ETF. But we could potentially now see the spot ETFs maybe approved very soon, and that could, send the market going crazy. The deadline is in October. So let's see what the SEC decides to do. Now, some news which I don't really want to talk about, but I have to, because I have to give you guys the relevant news in the market. Pump.fun, you guys know the meme coin platform built on Solana, which is, has gotten a lot of scrutiny and criticism with the way they've handled things. And, I'm not the biggest fan of meme coins, but they have raised $500 million in a public sale at $4 billion fully diluted valuation. So they did an ICO. So all 125 billion tokens sold at 0.004 cents each, giving Pump, P-U-M-P, a $4 billion fully diluted valuation. Post-sale tokens stay initially frozen for up to 72 hours. So incredible that they did an ICO, but I can't tell you to not to invest in this, but be careful with meme coins. You guys know how volatile they are and how far out on the risk curve they are. It's essentially going to the casino and putting it on red or black on the roulette table, or whichever analogy you want to use, or what game at the casino you want to use. But very risky, very risky. And I'm not investing in anything like this, anything meme coin related. I'm not against you if you are. Just I hope you understand the risk. This is the most riskiest aspect of the crypto market. But this is a sign of the bull market. Right? This is not a bear market type of thing happening here. So in that way, it's good, but in other ways, it's bad. And I think the bad outweigh the good. But just my opinion. Now, look at this. Real world asset tokens are the new ETFs, says Coin Fund president Christopher Perkins. And I've had Christopher Perkins on the podcast. I think it was last year that I interviewed him. I might try to get him back on soon. But essentially, what he's saying is that tokens are a new financial wrapper akin to the exchange traded funds, also known as ETFs, that debuted on the US exchanges in 1993. This is a very interesting take because I think he's right. Because I think with the idea of everything's going to be tokenized, whether it's stocks, equities, commodities, they're going to put it on the blockchain. Tokens become the new wrapper, right? I don't necessarily have to go through an exchange traded fund. I could just buy the fractional tokenized version, and that can trade 24/7 as opposed to exchange traded funds, which cannot, right? Exchange traded funds exist in the traditional world of the opening and closing bell, the weekends and holidays close, right? And we've talked about, those things are going to be a thing of the past because with tokenized assets, they're going to trade 24/7. They can be traded globally. So creating truly global markets, liquidity coming in from everywhere, and it can open up a lot of DeFi opportunities. So you can take those assets and do a lot more with them, put them in DeFi and earn passive income on them while they sit there and appreciate over time, right? So he's absolutely spot on. I think I'm going to get him on the podcast to talk about this because I think this is a great take, a great way to look at it. And we've seen Larry Fink and even Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev all talk about the benefits of tokenization and how that's going to change markets. So the paradigm shift is happening right before us, folks. It's incredible what's happening. So, folks, big week ahead. Like I said earlier, crypto week. And check out my interview with Congressman French Hill. One thing I forgot to mention with the timing of the bull market that, this thing could continue into the Q3, into November. Well, November being Q4, but around that timeline is that the timeline for the crypto market structure bill got pushed back, the vote to September. So that could be a big narrative then that sparks the final move, right? David Sachs outlined that, the bill, if passed in the House this week, will then go to the Senate. But there's August recess. So when they come back, they got to make sure they go through it and do their updates, and then they have to vote on it. Government moves slow. So this thing could be pushed into October. And again, the timing, right? That will be maybe the fifth wave, right? That sends us into that blow off top. So these are the things to think about and to keep in the back of your mind. I will keep you guys updated, of course, because I'm with you. I got skin in the game. I'm looking to get as much money out of this bull market as possible. And obviously rinse and repeat for future bull markets. So folks, let me know what you think about this news. Hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment below. A great way you can support me in the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything about crypto. It's packed with tons of value. I'm talking expert commentary from founders, CEOs, institutional investors. No other course offers this. So check it out at mycryptocourse.com. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.